Hey traders, Parker here with another indicator. Today I'm going to be introducing you to the price range volume average volatility box multi-time frame. Basically what it looks at the range of volume and looks at the range of the highest range of volume, highest range between high and low, and you can switch between the high and low and the close and the open, which gives you the body. Which right here, what range do you want to use? You want to use the range between the high and low. You want to use the range between the close and open, which is the body of the candle. You can change the time frame. You can change the average, and this is a sensitivity of the candles and sensitivity of the volume. This right here is saying the next candle or the next volatile candle needs to be at least 70% of the highest range candle. It needs to be within 70% of the highest range candle to make a true difference or to show volatility. And volume, it needs to be at least 50% of the highest volume volume node as well to show volatility. And these two need to happen simultaneously to create a bar. You can go down here. If you don't like the colors I chose, you can change those colors. It has a thing in there to paint bars and everything. But for the most part, I use it for areas of possible support and resistance and areas of possibly getting in the market on the lower time frames. Right now, I have all these set at 10 minutes. And these two lower things are visual aids to help visualize what's going on. So this right here is tracking the ranges for the wicks, the high and low. This is just the volume, and it's tracking everything at a 10 period average. So it's looking at everyone 10 bars across. And this is also, and this is also. So this cyan line right here is just showing you this is the highest range at this moment, and that's the open for the SPY on the 17th. So this will be the highest candle for the range, and then from there it goes through. And if none of these bars cross above this yellow line, then they are not considered very volatile. But volume has to cross above as well. So you had right here, but this range was not within the 70%. That's what the yellow line represents. And this volume bar is above 70%, but you can see the stock didn't really move or do anything, even though volume was, the range wasn't. So it continued on. You get this breakdown right here where the range is within that 70%, but volume isn't. So that's one of the ways that I use it. You can have a breakdown like this, but then you come over here where this candle right here was significant, and you can see the breakdown from there. You see right here, volume is above 50. Volume is above 50, and that's why I should have changed. Give me one. You can see volume is above 50 right here, and it's got even greater right here. And you can see the volatility happen right here. This green shaded area just represents, if you're familiar with the buy and sell candles, this green shaded area right here represents the buying on the candle. Same here. This candle is mostly green or bright green because it's a bullish candle. It's more buying than selling. And this orange or brick color, red, is the selling on this buying candle. And this is the buying on this selling candle right here. And it was volatile. It was a big push. It had a big push down. It couldn't really get back above this close right here of this candle. And this right here was able to sustain the close of that candle, and it rose back up. And you can see all this green or all this volume just pumping into the stock to break it back above, get back in this box, and they still had to get back above this closing price of this volatility candle right there. And from there, it had a big breakup. So that's why I say and you can use it as a support and resistance indicator. And we can go to the yesterday's price range, and right now it looks real choppy. But one of the things we can do is change this to the bodies, and that I found that eliminated a lot of the choppiness. But you can see right here, always in the beginning of the day is going to be very volatile. And you can look down here, both these ranges between the high and the low are very volatile. They cross above that 70%, and volume stayed above this 50% as well. So let's change it to the bodies and see what we get. So we'll change that to the body, and we'll change this one to the body as well. And as you can look, it eliminated a lot of that choppiness, and it actually got rid of this range right here, because this body right here is small. It didn't cross above this 70% point. But one of the things I found out with this, yeah, it shows up very well, but it works really well with the irregular body indicator as well. So I'm going to throw that on here just for a moment, because the irregular body would have caught that. So let me go to the averages. I'm going to put it on as averages, and I have this one set for 10. I've set this one for 10 as well. Oh, I was wrong on that one. It didn't catch that one. Or rather, it's because of the averages. It caught it. I went ahead and changed the irregular body back to the original. You can see right here, because I had it on the averages, but you change it back to the original, it's going to go for each and every bar. And you can look right here, it caught it right there. And this is significant. Signifies as buying pressure, because the candle is trying to push up. But if you're familiar with Ann Cooling, she always talks about things being stocks being like a ship. It's not going to stop like a car. It's not going to stop on a dime. But as buying pressure increases, you can see how the stock pushed back up, or the S&P 500 pushed back up. So you can use these together to show you these areas of support resistance or buying and selling pressure. And that's basically what the irregular body shows you. This is buying pressure. This is buying pressure. You have some selling pressure right here, but for the most part, you had this huge candle right here that pushed it all the way above that selling pressure and kept pushing on. And you had some buying pressure here, but I'm pretty sure this selling pressure right here was greater than this buying pressure over here. But I just wanted to show you the irregular bodies works good with this as well. And right now I have it, like I said, set on the body. So we can go to look at today's movement, price movement in the S&P 500. And this is what you're looking at. You got this big push down, and the stock had to fight to get back above that, but it really couldn't do anything. Another big push down, but the selling pressure right here was enough to hold it. And this S&P 500 rallied into the open, but you had some buying pressure back here. But look at this volume compared to once the day opened up. And look at this range as well. So this volume is way greater than 50% of back here, and this range body is way greater as well. So you can look at this and see that even though it had some buying on this candle, it wasn't significant enough to get the stock back above. And you can actually look at this taking a short, because even though that candle, it opened up and opened down, let it rise up a little bit right there and just short it all the way down. You had another big burst down as well, or another big body to push it down as well. And that's what you're looking at with this indicator. So I'm going to push it back to the wicks. And if you don't like the way I've set these candles up or set these things up, if you want the candles to be 50%, just come here and change all this. Change the sensitivity of everything. And you can basically look right here when it comes to the wicks, the high and low range of these candles. It didn't find anything down here. Even though this right here, this one right here, this volume node crossed above the 50%, you didn't have anything crossing back above the 70 percentile for the ranges, especially on this 10-minute. But like I said, I kind of like looking at it on a leaving the indicator on a higher time frame and using it to on the lower time frames. You can look right here on this 5-minute right here. This is still set for 10 minutes, so these are still set for 10 minutes as well. You can see all this volatility happening, and then you finally ended that volatility right here. So you can look at what 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of volatility, and the stock just cratered down. It wasn't able to hold this last line in the sand, you can say, of buying pressure, even pre-market as well. So even if you look right there, it just all worked against it to keep it down. Let's go look at the Qs. This is ridiculous. I forgot what came out this morning, but it's basically the same thing that's going on. You can actually, like I said, use this as an area of support or resistance indicator as well. But like I said, it's mainly for volatility, because you're looking at the past 10 candles or the 10 candles from the largest candle with a largest range right here. And from there, you're looking for anything within that 70 percentile. And then it'll fall down as things, as because it's based off of average, it is going to condense down and it's going to find the next one. And then it's going to base everything off of that candle. And you can see it works relatively well. And you can see right here, you have buying pressure here, buying pressure here. Look at all those low wicks. And it finally was able to break out from this area, then break above, and then you got to go from there. One of the ways I was able to create this indicator was I started listening to another guy. He was just talking about flagging, basing everything out that he was doing off these 5-minute flags. And if you haven't heard of this guy, let me get his page up. If you haven't heard of this guy, he has a lot of good information. Michael DeMarico. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. He had a lot of good information, especially when it comes to these 5-minute flag plays. And if you look right there, that's basically all he plays is 5-minute flags. He has a lot of good information. He uses Thinkorswim, and check him out. Check him out. I really encourage you checking him out. But getting back to this, let's take it to a higher time frame, on a daily time frame, and let's go to Tesla. Don't think I have anything on Tesla because I'm looking for charts. So I don't have anything marked out on. I do have those supply and demand areas marked on Tesla. And let's push it to a day. And I'm going to leave it at 10. I'm going to leave everything the same. And you can see everything really looks good, especially when it comes to these breakout players right here, because you had this area right here that had a lot of volume, where it was a volatile area, a volatile bar, and it pushed down. But then a day later, you had this other volatile bar to push back up, and it had to be greater than the one previous volatile bar. So let's push this up to a day as well. We're going to leave everything at 10. Volume. We're going to push this one up to a day as well. Even though it wasn't greater, but it got above this 70% part, and it got above this 50% on volume, and it pushed back above. So you can use it like that and use it in ways like this. You can see right here this area of support or this area of support. And in one sense, this is just flagging out this volatility bar. You had this because you can look at the volume. Even though this is a huge amount of volume right here on this one, or this sell volume, you can look right here. It was decreasing volume. Then you had this push on increasing volume, and it pushed up. And even right here, Tesla had this area of volatility at this top right here, and it wasn't enough to get it out of this bar right here. So this volatility buying bar, this cyan bar, it was enough to hold the stock in this place, even though it's still having trouble staying above this higher level right here. But it's trading within these zones right here. So you can look at Tesla. You could probably look at this area right here being a support area, a possible support area. But this is what the indicator indicates. Like I said, you can change the sensitivity of it by working with those percentages. And let's go back to the S&P 500. And right now, that's basically where it is. It's trapped in this last candle right here, back here, because it was using the top of this volatile candle right here as an area of support. You can see it tapped it twice, and maybe even a third time, but it pushed back down. And this area right here is another area of supply that I had drawn out. I think I've drawn those out either on a monthly or a weekly, probably a monthly. But for the most part, it's trapped now back in this candle right here. So it may come back down to this 50% fib of 2108 and turn back around and go. But we'll have to wait and see. But you can see how it all played out over here as well. It was very volatile coming back up, especially out of this area of supply. And this is the demand area down there. And once it breached below this, it became supply. And then it had to break back above that because initially it was demand zone. Now it's an area of supply, and now it breached above, and this area should work as demand. And this area right here should work as demand as well once it was able to break above that. Break above that. But this is the end of the video, and like I always like to do, I like to push it back to the pandemic and see what it looked like. So this is the pandemic. This is the huge sell-off. You can see how things, the volatility was shown to, they were trying to support it, but it wasn't enough to, and it just kept breaking down. And I really like this candle right here because you had all this buying on this candle, and it really held at that close of this candle. And rode that top, and then from there it kept on going. But this is I'm probably gonna call this just a volatility candles or volatility candles indicator. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And if you have any comments or any suggestions or anything, leave them in the comment section. And I appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen to what I had to say. And I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. I pray that everything's working out for you, and God bless.